Hey guys, so far in this phase of the MCU, we've been introduced to a lot of new characters, so I thought it'd be fun to learn a little bit more about each of them and what role they might play in the future of the MCU. Let's start with an easy one. Clea. We met her at the end of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness when she appears and her and Doctor Strange go off somewhere. What's important about Clea is that she's actually love interest to Doctor Strange in the comics, which the story would make sense because Doctor Strange can no longer date Christina Palmer. So a quick breakdown of Clea. So Clea is a part of the race called the Faltine. They're basically interdimensional creatures that are made from magic. And Clea's family definitely comes from the dark magic side. Her grandfather is the ruler of the Dark Realm, making her dad the prince of the Dark Realm. Her uncle is Dormammu, and her mom is pretty horrible too. We're gonna skip over some of her adventures just to get to the important things about her relationship with Doctor Strange. One thing you need to know about Clea is that her powers come from the Dark Realm. So eventually when she ends up with Doctor Strange in New York, she doesn't have access to those powers anymore. She trains herself in the mystic arts so she can develop some new powers again. She uses these powers to fight along Doctor Strange and to help the Defenders too. And through these adventures, Doctor Strange and Clea just start to develop a wonderful relationship. Fortunately, it's a little rocky because Clea does spend a lot of time in the Dark Realm trying to save those dimensions, and Doctor Strange has to remain in New York. Eventually, the two realize that they really do love each other. And sadly, like many long-distance relationships, Doctor Strange wasn't quite faithful to Clea, but it ended with them being friends. Here's where this might get a little bit more interesting. So Doctor Strange ends up in the situation where he needs the help from Mephisto to save his reality. Mephisto, being the devil of course, agrees to help Doctor Strange only if he can remove all the memories from Clea about Doctor Strange. So he teams up with Mephisto, but ultimately Doctor Strange dies. But now Clea, using her powers that she's learned from the mystic arts, wants to bring the love of her life back, but ends up bringing up a bunch of zombie superheroes. But it works. One of them is Doctor Strange, but he goes by Harvest Man. And to get back to life, he's working with Death. They can't be together because he's a zombie, and if she touches a zombie, then it's gonna be fatal to her. But their love is so strong, and when all seems lost, she decides to kiss Doctor Strange. Or in this case, Harvest Man. And when they kiss, they become a super being together, a being basically just called Strange. And because Doctor Strange was helping Death, and succeeded in helping Death, Doctor Strange came back to life, and him and Clea were able to live happily ever after. So why is Clea's story important? Her story has to do with the Dark Realm. And as rumors have it, Mephisto may be the owner of Stark Tower. I still hope it's a King variant. And of course, this gives us another connection to the Defenders, which includes Daredevil and Jessica Jones. Speaking of which, if you're going to be at FanX this weekend, you should go to their panel, because I am going to be the moderator. Please be kind. They seem like wonderful people, and I'm so excited to talk with them.